Gaff, first of all, your comments on Kid getting a contract extension this morning.
Oh, my biggest congrats to him. I mean, obviously well deserved. One of the, I would say, best coaches this year from what I've been seeing. Just, real poised. He knows how to really assert himself, assert the dominance in the locker room when it comes to whenever we need to get our heads on straight. But in all honesty, just biggest congrats to him. Like I said, well deserved. Something I'm pretty sure he's been working towards for the longest. I can't wait for what's next for the team, most definitely.
What are some of the ways that he has helped you become a better player?
In all honesty, just, really just, I would say, trying to give me as much confidence as he possibly can. At the end of the day, there's times where, I've shown a lot of frustration and shown my feelings on my sleeve out on the court. At the end of the day, I got teammates that, that always push me to try to get myself out of the funk, but he does the same thing too. And he tells me to just keep going, keep doing the things that I'm doing on an elite level and just kind of be consistent with it. So that's some of the main things. It's pretty much the best advice he can give me at this point right now.
As someone who's going to be matched up against Chet, what are the differences going against him versus going against Zubats?
Well, Chet, he stretches the floor a lot more. He's a more dynamic guy. Zubac, he was more of a back to the basket, bang, bang, bang under the basket. So for sure, I'm gonna be saving just some of the upper body and stuff this round for sure, because just with the last series, it was just the physicality was through the roof, and I know for a fact it's not gonna be any different with this team. They're a young, scrappy team, so we just got to come out prepared. In all honesty,
you had big games when 2 times you guys played the Thunder after the trade deadline. What do you remember about playing in those games and how you were successful and just about how the team was successful overall?
I try to forget the second one because I missed my Will Chamberlain record. But in all honesty, I just go out and just do my job at the end of the day. With as much attention and I would say gravity that Luka and Kyrie pulls towards them, it just kind of like opens the floor up for anybody out there. At the end of the day, I would say it's gonna be a real good series for the bigs to just go out and just kind of like set the tone physically. Because once we set the tone physically, I feel like we'll be in a good place for sure.
And let's be honest, you got fouled on that one that broke the record.
Man, look, you can say that. I can't. They might find me.
2 months ago, they're gonna find you.
You never know, man. Look, oh man.
Anything else?
Daniel, how important will the lob attack be against this Thunder team?
It'll be real important. Just keeping our spacing and just, getting downhill. I would say they pack the paint a lot with this team that we're going to go play, and we just got to make sure we make the right decisions down the stretch to kind of like, keep us from having turnovers, keep us poised, and really just help us. I'll find some type of way to just help us execute consistently down the stretch.
Daniel, how much concentration has there been on being strong with the ball against these guys? Because they force more turnovers than anybody else. Get more points off turnovers.
100%. Like that's just like I would say that's kind of like the first thing that was said today. They swipe at the ball all the time, whether you're big or small. If you're going into the paint, you better go in there and make sure you finish, or you just make sure you just redrive and throw it out to anybody that's out on the perimeter to be ready to shoot. Because at the end of the day, trying to make sure we take care of the ball is kind of like our main goal. Just with a team like this, they ranked high in steals with at least I would say, maybe 3-4 players on their team. So we just have to make sure that we kind of like take care of everything when it comes to just like our execution offensively.
What would you say is the one thing you learned from that Clipper series that you can take into this series against OKC?
Just physicality at the end of the day and just being early, making sure guys hear us. Because I know it's going to be real crazy going into this OKC crowd. It's going to be real loud. So we just got to make sure when it comes to our principles that we know at the end of the day, because there's going to be a lot of coverage that's probably going to get messed up because of the simple fact that they're not going to be able to hear us on the backside. But in all honesty, just the physicality and the energy. They're going to come out head full of steam. They had a great last series against the Pelicans. So, they got a chip on their shoulder for sure. So they're going to come out swinging, and we got to do the same thing.
Shea's obviously not going to be your primary matchup, but rim protection is critical against a guy like that. What do you guys need to do to keep him from getting in the groove?
To really just be as vertical as possible consistently, don't fall for pump fakes, and stay out of foul trouble, in all honesty. Trying to do our best. At the end of the day, trying to protect the basket of guys that predominantly always go down to the basket trying to finish around the rim. That's just like our main thing. Just staying poised and just staying together. Communication is key.
What's the impact of being without Maxey, and what does that mean for what you need to do?
It just gives everybody else the opportunity to step up in his place and just kind of like pick up where he left off. He went down tough. It's really just tough to just even think about it in all honesty because the last 2 games of the Clippers series he was real big. Most definitely. And to just really just pick up where he left off, we just have to keep that energy into how he impacted the game. That's then the last 2 games of that series for sure.
How much stock do you guys put in the fact that the one game that Luka and Kyrie both played against this team, you guys beat them by 35?
I don't think anybody. In all honesty, I don't think anybody has really even said anything about it.
That
Really,
was your
you
first
know.
game.
Yeah, I know. I know. What's crazy is, we just put the clips together and just really just find ways to just implement what their tendencies are and just find ways to just kind of like prevent that. In all honesty, try to be consistent and just trying to kind of like piggyback off of what we did when we won against them in the past and just implement that into these next few games that we got against them.
So when everybody's talking about like the change that the team made after the trade deadline, they talk about the trades for you and for PJ, and those 2 names get put together so much that it's like I think we almost forget that you guys are on completely different teams.
Yeah, but I think we started look alike too.
So obviously like you weren't teammates before the deadline, but I'm curious. Is there any sort of bond or anything that developed between you guys, both coming into the same situation and experiencing the same turnaround, not being a part of it from the beginning of the season?
With me and PJ, we played against each other during AAU ball all the time. He was on Team Penny, I was with the Arkansas Wings. So I had a fair amount of times where I was always, I would say, in the same gym as him, majority of the time. So, I would say we somewhat created a bond because he went to Kentucky, I went to Arkansas. We was always in the same gym at one point in time throughout our career. So just being on the same team now is just like, it was like, I can't even think of the phrase of it. We'll come back to it, but but it's just I would say I wouldn't say it's destined, but it was at pretty much the right time. In all honesty, we both were put in a position to be able to take that next step forward in our career, and we just took advantage of that and just worked hard and just was ready for that. I would say next step. It's always one door closes and another door opens.
And was there any help? Like did you guys kind of as you were trying to figure out, pick out the schemes, especially the first few weeks, was it? Did you guys kind of bounce stuff off each other? Was there any ability to kind of help each other out in that way?
Yeah, in some instances, yes, because when we first got here, they got us in the gym. They taught us all the schemes, the calls, the plays, so on and so forth. And then if one was confused, we always helped each other out at the end of the day, or we just asked questions. No, pretty much no question is the worst question.
Daniel, I heard you say that OKC is a young and scrappy team, but I'm also hearing how much you guys are preparing for them. What does it say about the respect level that you guys have for your opponent, knowing that they're a little bit younger?
I mean, at the end of the day, they're an NBA team, and they're one of the top NBA teams this season. So we just have to, for sure, just come out and be ready for a dogfight, because I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing all the dog barking and stuff once we get there at the end of the day. So, we just have to be ready to come out and just be ready to go blow for blow. Play by play, we just have to just come out and just play with just like that edge to just come out and try to win basketball games.
Oh, so let's just talk about medical. Luka's probable right knee sprain. Maxey's out. Hardaway's available. Max is out. And Fudge is out.
Congratulations on the contract.
Thanks.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I got a new deal. That's about it. I'm very thankful for Patrick and Nico and to be able to have a new deal going forward. Truly believe, Patrick and Nico are building a championship team, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
What does that mean to you that they saw the job that you've done and they appreciated it and they rewarded you accordingly?
Yeah, it means a lot. The work that the coaching staff and the players are putting in, means a lot, and hopefully they saw that, and through the good and through the stuff that we had to get better at, this is work in progress. This is a very talented team, and so to be a part of it, I'm very blessed.
Over the past 3 years, what are you proud that you've instilled in this team?
Probably just the calmness, development, and on and off the floor, a winning mindset. Just those couple of things probably.
You said calmness. It was a kind of a chaotic ending last year. How do you think that your character traits kind of helped you and the club get through that and get to this point here?
Yeah, I think last year we learned a lot about character. about the team. There was a couple pivots there that late in the season, and it turned out to be, the right thing. At the time, everyone had their opinion, but understanding what the plan is internally, I thought we executed the plan, and we were thankful to get Omax and Lively, out of that plan. So, but being calm and not, what others say, turned out to be the right thing.
Coach, with this contract, what's your message to Mavericks fans now that this come to fruition?
Yeah, I think we're trying to win a championship, and so we have an opportunity. We're playing a very talented team in Oklahoma City, but understanding the foundation is being built, and our ultimate goal is to win a championship, and hopefully we can do that here in the next 3 years.
When you're preparing for a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I know defensively in the Clippers series you had Derrick Jones Jr. on Paul George. Do you see a similar effect that he can have, I guess, on that end, facing their top perimeter player?
Yeah, he's up for MVP. He's one of the best young players in this league, and so he puts a lot of pressure on your defense, and everyone's going to get a chance to guard him. Just understand we're coming out of a series with Paul George and Harden, who can, flat out score the ball. So hopefully we can have some carryover from the defensive side to just try to make it tough on Shai and those guys. They're going to make tough shots. Our theory is try to make them take tough shots, and hopefully that we can get them to miss some.
All the old guard superstars have been sent home except for one. What's the value that Kyrie brings with his experience to this team?
I think wisdom and experience, understanding what it means this time of the year. Again, there's no panic, there's calmness. He's under control. His tone when he speaks to the team is confident, and so it's great to have someone like that in your locker room this time of the year.
What's the challenge of Chet on both ends of the floor for you guys?
Yeah, Chet can step out and shoot the three. He can put it on the floor. He can finish. He can shoot, and also pass. He has a total package, and then defensively, you got to account for him. If he's at the rim, he has a great chance of blocking the shot or changing the shot. So, understand when you're going to try to challenge him, he wins most of those battles. So, again, he can change the game on the defensive end and on the offensive end.
Jason, you guys definitely got bigger after the trade deadline, but even since the trade deadline, offensive rebounding isn't something that you guys, your stats were way up in the league about. Do you feel like that's a strength, especially going against a team that's chosen to field a smaller lineup? Do you think it's something that for certain matchups and situations you guys are able to turn on as a weapon for you?
Yeah, at this time of year, if you can get second or third opportunities, that helps. And we're going to need that against Oklahoma City, is to be able to get second or third opportunities. Just understanding they can be small at times, so our bigs and our smalls have to try to get offensive rebounds to give us a second or third opportunity if we want to win this series.
We talked about Kyrie's experience, but how much will experience overall play a factor in this series, especially with OKC being so young?
What was that? I didn't hear the first part. What was that?
You talked about Kyrie's experience individually, but how much will experience play overall?
Yeah, experience comes into play if you're put in that situation. Everybody's going to talk about their young team, but it's basketball. They know how to play. They're the number one team in the West. They have Coach of the Year and Mark, and so understanding they've been experienced, they've been through, they've been together for some time now. So just understanding until you can put them into a experienced situation, they're going to play basketball. They're going to play the way that they've been playing all season. So our job is to try to hopefully put them in a position that experience comes into play.
Jason, no one knows your career as well as you do, but when you have moments with a contract extension, do you give yourself time to reflect on how far you've gotten?
Yeah, I don't have after the season maybe,
Okay.
and then there's always stuff to do after the season. So again, I'm very humble and thankful for this opportunity with the Mavs to try to win a championship. But again, like I told the players this morning, I thank them for this opportunity because it's them that helped get this deal. The development, being able to win, and then also having the opportunity to win a championship. So I'm very thankful for that.
What do you think makes Lou Dort a good defender?
He plays hard at all times. Dort is he's one that's going to compete when he's on the floor. That's how he came in the league, and that's how he's still playing. And he's probably going to until he leaves the league, he's going to play hard. And so he understands his defense has caused a problem in this league. He plays hard for the time that he's out on the floor. He knows no other way, so he causes a problem on the defensive end.
Losing Maxey, but hopefully getting Tim back. How do you kind of view that and on the personnel front, and how important is Tim to try to step in there with Maxey out?
Yeah, it's unfortunate to lose Maxey. Maxey was playing well for us defensively and offensively. I think he was our best three-point shooter. But looking at getting Timmy back is a good thing, and we're going to need Timmy coming off the bench to be able to give us some offense, but also his experience of being in the playoffs is going to come into play, and we're going to need that experience on the floor, especially here with the first 2 games on the road.
Coach, speaking of Tim, how would you say he and Luka have progressed from an injury standpoint over the past few days?
They've been great. They look great. They look like they're ready to go.